Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour. I am your host, Chris Peters, and my co-host, Kareem is joining us tonight, along with Sharon Cortizano, Bill Maybauer, Cedric Wilson, and Dan Sissick. And tonight we are discussing a definite chief aim. Now, what does that mean? Well, a definite chief aim is the keynote of the word definite. It is most appalling to know that 95% of the people in this world are drifting aimlessly through life without the slightest conception of the work for which they are best fitted, and with no conception whatsoever or even in need of a such thing as a definitive objective. So there is a psychological as well as an economic reason for the selection of a definite chief aim in life. Let us devote our attention to the psychological side of this question first. It is a well-established principle of psychology that a person's acts are always in harmony with the dominating thoughts of his or her mind. Any definite chief aim that is deliberately fixed in the subconscious mind will automatically influence the physical action of the body towards the attainment of that purpose. So that's what we're discussing tonight. And I know that for myself, it's taken me a while to really figure out what my definite chief aim is. It is with the Entrepreneur Power Hour for us to expand our services in 5 different areas. And I'm going to go to the website and read those off to you guys. Actually, I have them written down. What am I doing? They're right here. So what is the definite chief aim of the Entrepreneur Power Hour? Working together to unite the world's entrepreneurs, to provide strategies in video creation, blogging strategies, personal development, and social media marketing, providing people a platform to come and present their businesses and organizations to entrepreneurs, increasing our area of service in this area, teaching personal development and life coaching through Pay Me What I'm Worth, to provide sound YouTube collaborations and content advice for those who want to have a successful YouTube presence. So when I sat down and wrote out the definite chief aim of our show, it really began to dawn on me that the more we have a concise strategy, the better off we're going to be. I don't know. What are your guys' chief aims? What are you striving towards? Do you have a chief aim? Because I think that is vitally important.
Well, I don't have mine right in front of me, but I was going to jump out and add one part because when you were reading the definition, you also said that it's the mind and whole body and everything. So the fact that it's you and Kareem working together, the two of you need to make sure that in building the Entrepreneur Power Hour and what you're working on, that you both are on the same mind and body of everything
Yes.
together. Because if one of you in your mind has it and feels it and senses it, but if your body's not in sync with what something's off, or you don't feel it, or you're not feeling quite right about what the other person is doing or something, you're going to find that it's going to cause friction and issues and problems. So by sitting down and doing up and talking together and coming to terms together to make sure that both sides are in agreement with what's the aim is, then
Well,
you'll get farther than not having talked about it or fully really sitting down and doing it together.
Oh, absolutely. And when I was writing this down, I told Kareem, this is coming out of my subconscious mind. Put this on the website now. As I read through this, I am getting more and more ideas for the show. I'm getting more ideas for you guys to help you guys. I'm getting more ideas about how to increase our service and the effectiveness of our service. That's why I am going to be reading every personal development program I can get my hands on that I'm personally attracted to, that I'm interested in. And I'm going to be sharing pieces of that on the show, whether it's through topics, whether it's through blog posts, whether it's through video. I'm going to be sharing all that stuff because that's increasing our service. So if I want my income to grow and I want to make more money, I have to be of better service to others. That's the law of cause and effect. I like to think of it as a big apotheosis scale, with 2 bowls on chains. One's marked service, one's marked rewards. So if I want to increase the rewards of my life, I have to increase my service to others. And this is the way that we're going to be doing that. Kareem, are you? Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead. Anybody? Sure.
No, I like what you said there, Dan. I like what you said because you have to be working as a team in continuity. If I really don't believe in the power hour, if Chris doesn't, or if all of you didn't, then there wouldn't be a power hour. It has to come from synchronicity. We all
I
have to
agree.
believe in each other's uh, aim of what we want to do and help each other to get up the mountain. And for me, the power hour, and when me and Chris were talking about this, these were the services we thought about and we agreed upon. What do we really do? Because someone says the entrepreneur power hour and they're like, what do you do? I think I even asked Cedric before I showed it to him. He's like, well, I'm not sure. What exactly do you guys do? And it's just showing this is what we are all about. If someone were to ask on the street, it's these points. And to make it clear, if I know where I'm going, then I can go in other directions. Like I work with the power hour, and I also do my public speaking, and I do my music, and I have a definite goal that I want to get there too.
And I'm going to quote the book here again for you guys because I really want to help you guys understand what this is all about. So another awesome paragraph, short paragraph here that Napoleon Hill says is, until a man selects a definite purpose in life, he dissipates his energies and spreads his thoughts over many subjects and in so many different directions that they lead not to power but to indecision and weakness. With the aid of a small reading glass, you can teach yourself a great lesson on the value of organized effort, which is what Kareem was just talking about. Through the use of such a glass, you can focus the sun rays on a definite spot so strongly that they will burn a hole through a plank. Remove the glass, which represents the definite purpose, and the same rays of the sun that may shine on that same plank for 1,000,000 years without burning it. So that pretty much says it all there too. I mean, if you don't have that laser focus on one thing at a time, increasing your services, your rewards will not change. So I think that a lot of people out there that are in networking or network marketing, they're trying to build a business. Well, first thing they have to do is make sure that business or that chief aim is serving people. Because if it's not, then the business will not succeed.
See, and I think I'm going to throw out my
Go
little. I
ahead.
think
Yeah, yeah,
I
man.
think you have it partially right, but I think in order to be able to provide the services that they want to provide, they need to know inside their self what their purpose is and what their
Yes.
purpose is first. If you
Yes.
don't know what your purpose is or what you're about or what you really are looking for to of your passions and your desires and what you want, you're not gonna have that energy or that drive or that definiteness of what you're
Mm-hmm.
wanting to work towards.
Yep.
But if you first identify what your passion is, what your purpose is, then you can go out and find what you want to provide and give, and then provide the services to the nth degree without ever faltering and losing sight of what you're working towards.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It definitely has to be something that you find heart energy from, but I'm not going to lie. Eventually, sometimes when you're doing something and you have so many responsibilities that you may have to jump here, jump here. And then when you don't know what you want to do initially, which was one of my problems, I jumped from company to company, project to project, and I just didn't exactly know what I was kind of meant for. I knew I wanted to work on the internet. I knew I wanted to do something with other people. I didn't know what I wanted to do and have that definite aim. It was just kind of, I could use the computer to make an income, but what was I really destined to do? What's going to keep me up at 4 a.m.? What's going to keep me working through the night and then wake up at 8 p.m. and do it all over again? And I
Yep.
found it, and I enjoy doing this, and that's why I'm here. Whenever people come, whenever they don't come, the show goes on. And that's why I know it's a definite chief aim. I know it's something that's going to bring about change. When, how, I'm going to let God or the universe or whatever you believe decide that.
Well, it's cause and effect, man. The more we put the cause in, in the service bowl, the rewards have to come. So it's just a matter of time. That's all it is. And that's why I've decided to create a paradigm shift within myself and go, okay, I'm sitting around here and I'm complaining that my life is not where I want to be. And then I started watching Bob Proctor's stuff on paradigm shifting. And then I'm like, studying people like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Dr. Joe Vitale, all the different authors on the nightingaleconant.com. And I'm going, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to study these people. I need to read their books. I need to listen to everything they're outlining. I need to model my life and according to what they did to succeed. So once I made that decision, I'm sticking to that choice. I'm sticking to that decision. And I know that the more I learn, the more knowledge I have that I can apply to the entrepreneur power, that I can apply to my life, the more service I'm going to create for people.
Exactly.
The better our services are going to get. So that's what I'm doing, man.
And I'm sure at one point, and I'd like to say, provided they're all telling the truth, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, even all of us have been probably in one moment where we're like, man, life's not going so hot right now. I wish A, B, and C were better. And you don't have to go into specific details, whether it's money or relationship or whatever. And then you get discouraged, and then you sit there and you're like, it's not working out. But eventually, when you look at other people who were in that same position, you get up and start taking action. That's the only thing that can really fix it. So are there times where I get a little frustrated that doesn't work? Yes, but that doesn't mean I stop. Dan, told you can't leave, Dan.
Well, what that's called...
I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay. That's called... what's creative discontent or uncomfortable discontent or something. I got to get Earl Nightingale's. I got to get that Acres of Diamonds audio. But if you have discontent with your life, it's actually a good thing because that's a motivating factor for you to change that aspect of your life, to change what you're doing so that you can feel like you're content. So you can go, okay, I've achieved this goal. It's time to move on to the next one. Earl Nightingale describes success as the progressive realization towards a worthy goal. And so whenever somebody is striving for something, they're successful. Whenever they've set a goal and they're working towards that goal, they're successful. So it's not the end that it makes you successful. It's not achieving that goal. Yes, that's definitely part of it, but most people have a strong misconception as to what does success mean. It means working towards what you want. And the more you do that, the more you create it as a habit, you achieve one goal at a time, and then you move on to the next one.
I think the journey matters more.
Yes,
that's what I keep saying. Because the end result wouldn't really matter that much if there wasn't something behind it. Like if someone just came now and wrote you a check and said, you're good for life, you wouldn't exactly, lottery winners tend to spend real poorly, and that's why. It just, here's a check, and then 2 years later, they're broke. But the whole idea is that when someone has gone through a journey to get where they want to be, whether it's wealth or better health or better relationships. And I know for my journey, it was a lot of different things. It was to get better at public speaking. It doesn't matter as much when I get to that destination as learning the little things along the way, having fun and seeing where it takes me and not trying to push so much that, I need an end result now. Because once I push for that end result, if it doesn't happen, then I can get discouraged and quit. But if I'm enjoying the journey and there's a few bumps along the road, I'm going to keep going.
Yep. That's how it works. Yep.
Cedric.
Anybody else want to chime in? Kind of feel like we're just doing a lesson here. Well, maybe that's what we should do tonight. Well,
that'll be $9.99.
But yeah, just this
laughing.
Books just taught me so much, and I'm only 100 pages in.
Cedric.
So,
What do the bobbleheads think about
Cedric, do you know what your definite chief aim is? Your definite purpose? What you want to do? You're muted.
Hold on, let me unmute him.
You gotta unmute him, man.
Unmuted. You good, man?
Yeah, to serve God and to empower others. And the thing is, I'm a practitioner. Actually, back in 1999, I worked for about a year in Chicago with Nightingale Conant, and I worked
awesome.
And
what?
Yeah, I have on my laptop, I have the Law of Success, and I read it quite often. And one thing that the Think and Grow Rich book, they encourage you to read that one time a month. You know, if you go through that book consistently, because a lot of times the stuff, you forget it real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to constantly keep it in front of you, and you have to have your chief definite purpose. You have to, you have to write those goals down as if you have already achieved them.
That's right.
So yeah, and that's what keeps you going through the through the bad times and so forth, and it repels negativity. And it's definitely, you become what you think about, and as Earl Nightingale said. So and just you talking about this, it brings me back into focus what I need to do more of. If my life is getting out of whack and it's getting to the point where I feel like I'm just out there floundering and not going in any definite direction, it's because I'm not applying these principles. So, and this is a great topic, and we're on to something here.
I like it. Another awesome thing he says here in this lesson, a definite chief aim is the second lesson of this book. It says, in answering the question, what is your definite purpose in life? That appears in the questionnaire which I have used for the analysis of more than 16,000 people. Many answered about it as follows. My definite purpose in life is to be of as much of service to the world as possible and earn a good living. Well, there's the chief aim, one of the chief aims of the Entrepreneur Power Hour, which I'm going to be adding to that list, Kareem. So the answer is about as definite as a frog's conception of the size of the universe is accurate. The object of this lesson is not to inform you as to what your life work should be, for indeed this could be done with accuracy only after you have completely analyzed, but it is intended as a means of impressing upon your mind a clear conception of the value of definite purpose in some nature, and the value of understanding the principle of organized effort as a means of attaining the necessary power with which you want to materialize your definite purpose. Okay, so that's, yeah. I could sit here and read this all night. Such a good book. Where's my bookmark? Yeah, so I mean, that's there's just so much good stuff in here. I'm going to read this book like probably 20 times before I'm going to memorize everything in here, because this one's like 600 pages. So, but yeah. What do you think, Kareem? What do you think, Bill?
I think the interesting thing enough is at one point he didn't know what his definite chief aim was, but he wanted to be of service to the world.
Yep.
And that's what ignited what his purpose was. And it's really wanting to be of service, wanting to do something great, I think, is where that inspiration. And without it, I don't think he would have been able to do that.
Nope, neither would Earl Nightingale. I mean, when Nightingale Conant started, man, it was small, and Earl Nightingale just got better and better and became a better writer over time, and he's in a lot of different. He's in the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He's in many other accredited organizations, which I don't remember off the top of my head right now. So.
What matters is we know we have a focus on who we are and what we do. We just keep working through with that.
We also have to keep adding to it too.
We will.
Increasing and expanding our services, you know?
We will over time. Right now, and maybe spice things up and get some input from Bill or Sharon or Cedric. I don't know, maybe muted that mute button. Oh, come on, unmute.
Well, hopefully it's not too loud background noise
No,
for me.
you're off the bus now, so I don't hear nothing.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, you know, it's you've got to be a service to others, and in your case, I think you need to be at least growing your business so that there can be lots of people on this thing. But you've got a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
We lost Bill.
Bill, the phone. He's still here in spirit.
How can I help you? And if I can help enough people, the profits will come. It's all about helping others and working for others as opposed to yourself.
I agree with that.
His bandwidth is low.
It'll come back up. Cedric.
So did that make any sense, or is that where we're headed, or is that some of the ideas we need to be expressing, or where we at? Oh, am I on base or off base on that?
No, you're on base. You're definitely on base. You're ready to hit a home run, honestly. It's just a matter of working at it every day and advertising it. And if you had fun, coming back and then, getting real into it, and then people see that. And I'm sure it will, blow up. Whether some people can't make it on certain nights, we've had that, where some days it's packed. You get 10 people when you start. And some days it's hard to get a few people, but then there's always people dedicated to it. So I'm not worried. I don't come on here and be like, well, no one's going to show up.
I don't either. I think another thing I'm going to talk about here is the power and the importance of our mastermind, because he goes into detail about that. And let me just find it. Just going to find it here. Instructions for applying the principles of this lesson. Through the introduction of this course, you became familiar with the principle of psychology known as the mastermind. You are now ready to begin use of this principle as a means of transforming your definite chief aim into reality. It must have occurred to you that one night as well. It must have occurred to you that one night as well have no definite chief aim unless one also has a very definitive and practical plans for making that aim become a reality. Your first step is to decide what your major aim in life should be. Your next step is to write out a clear, concise statement of that aim, which I have done. This should be followed by a statement in writing of the plan or plans through which you intend to attain the objective of your aim. Your next and final step will be the forming of an alliance with some person or persons who will cooperate with you in carrying out these plans and transforming your definite chief aim into reality. The purpose of this friendly alliance is to employ the law of the mastermind in support of your plans. This alliance should be made of yourself and those who have your highest and best interests at heart. If you are a married man, then your wife should be one of this alliance, providing there exists between you a normal state of confidence and sympathy. Other members of this alliance may be your mother, father, brothers, or sisters, or some very close friends. If you are a single person, your sweetheart, if you have one, should become a member of this alliance. This is no joke. You are now studying one of the most powerful laws of the human mind, and you will serve your own best interests by seriously and earnestly following the laws laid down in this lesson, even though you may not be sure where they will lead you. So that's another important thing. If we didn't have people behind us supporting us, believing in what we're doing, then we wouldn't be on the path to where we need to go with this. That's what I think. Well, that's obviously a law. I just said that. I mean, yeah, we need to have a mastermind.
Well, yeah, if nobody is going to be part of it and people keep constantly putting you down everywhere, it's going to be a lot tough. Not saying you can't do it, but definitely having people behind you no matter what is what's going to get that momentum going. So if you have a rough day or something doesn't work out, then you keep going and you don't worry about what happens.
Yep.
Well, guys, I got to run. Life happens, and I will listen to the rest of it on the recording.
All
Have a
right.
great day, guys.
Yep.
Fran is trying to get on.
She is. What do we know if anybody else is coming?
I know Carly is. And Micah.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to say? Man,
no, I was just agreeing with you on what you were reading because it makes sense when you went through, like, if you're married or if you're working with people or your family members, at least should support it or let you go with what you're doing with your dream. Because if I had, like, fighting from everybody all around me, it would be very difficult.
Oh, yeah. Yep. This is why I'm very careful about who I share this stuff with. Perfect example. Last night I was at my buddy's place, and him and his roommate got in a big fight because buddy was trying to get his puppies out from under the shed and blah, blah, blah. And
Micah!
Yeah. Anyway, got into a huge fight, and they started yelling at each other, woke up the neighbors. Police showed up. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, that's cause and effect. And he's like, no, it's not. You can't see that. I'm like, you just keep working against these laws and find out what, So, I mean, it's you got to be able to inspire people who and help people who want to learn this stuff. Or you're wasting your time,
Yep. Micah's here. Yay, we have
right,
the Exactly ambassador.
I have arrived.
So actually, here's the funny thing. Yeah, I got richer in crypto coins. So
I can't hear you guys though. Hold one second. All right, we're in.
Can you hear me now? Good.
I hear you now.
It's like the Verizon Sprint commercial.
Yeah, I was supposed to say Verizon commercial. Yeah.
Carly's here. Woo! Exactly. Showed up to save the day. So, guys, we're talking about a definite chief aim. And really what that is when you have a business or you have something you're working on, like public speaking, or if you're in a band, you have these goals laid out of exactly what you want to do. Like, Micah, you have the decentralized cooperative with exactly that you want to help people. Cedric wants to, work through the Lord and empower people. We have our own, which is uniting the world's entrepreneurs and offering life coaching services and things like that, making sure that we're 100% focused on what it is we do and who it is we are.
Yep.
And Chris has been reading a little bit from his book, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff in this book that is just incredible that I've been reading. I've been reading The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. I think everybody should read this book that wants to, rise above mediocrity and have a higher income. They have to match that with their services. You can't have more money if you're not providing more services for people. So, yeah, I just really think that having a definite chief aim will mean the difference between succeeding and failing. So if you're scattered all over the place and you're focusing on this, and this, your eggs, you got to put all your eggs in one basket and then watch your basket so nobody knocks it over or breaks any eggs.
And you got to know what kind of eggs, and then how are you distributing the egg. That's really, to me, why I got out from it. They're like, well, what are you going to do with these eggs? Are you going to juggle them? Are you going to graze chickens? what are you going to do with these eggs? And then that's exactly what we're talking about here. You have all of your eggs. What's the purpose of those eggs? What do you want to do? What do you want it to become? Do you want chickens? Do you want an omelet? What do you want?
And then in lesson 2 here, self-confidence, he says, skepticism is the deadly enemy of progress and self-development. You might as well lay this book aside and stop right here as to approach this lesson with the feeling that it was written by some long-haired theorist who never tested the principles upon which this lesson is based. Surely this is no age for the skeptic, because it is an age in which we have more of nature's laws uncovered and harnessed than have been discovered in all the past history of the human race. Within 3 decades, we have witnessed the mastery of the air. We have explored the ocean. We have all but annihilated distances on the earth. We have harnessed lightning and made it turn the wheels of industry. And we have made blades of grass glow where but one grew before. We have instantaneous communication between the nations of the world. Truly, this is an age of illumination and unfoldment. So, but we have barely scratched the surface of knowledge. So yeah, we're just talking about...
I just thought of Nikola Tesla when you actually mentioned that lightning. I was like, sweet. But
yeah,
the advances are amazing because one person said that it's possible to harness electricity through what was back then, direct current. And alternating current happened because somebody was crazy enough to try that. And it's the whole idea of looking at where humanity has come and where it can go now, and looking at everything people are doing and being part of that huge snowball that's going to push this race forward.
Yep, I agree. So the only way for us to get better is to constantly be educating ourselves in whatever field of work we choose to do. For us, it's personal development. So that means that we need to learn as much about personal development as we can.
Yeah, and like with making videos, I'm like, oh, Doodly's out. Got to learn Doodly. I got to learn that. Every time I can find a video program that can do something better, I want to do that. Because every day that I get better at creating videos, I can reach more people. And even though that's not everything to just make a pretty video, making a good video that I can be proud of helps. Because it's a service I can offer to many, many people. And anybody anywhere in the world can see that, provided they can get them internets and they have YouTube. And maybe they'll watch it over a cat video eventually.
Yep. It's all a matter of connecting with the right individual, man. We gotta be sure that we're offering our services to people who actually want to get better, who want change, that have a definite chief aim. So anyway, this is a really small show tonight.
Cedric's back.
Micah, what do you have a definite chief aim, and have you written it down? Do you have it in a place where you can see it every day?
Well, I'm just aiming to be a guy that cooperates and helps people get what they need, really. I've been helping people with exactly, what they're looking for. You guys are looking to increase your user base, get more people to talk to the Power Hour, find interesting people to interview, that kind of thing, right? That's what I do every day is I help people like yourself, if that makes sense. That's my chief aim, just helping people get what they need.
I think that's just as good as any, because the whole idea of cooperating is to cooperate. So I'll spend time with that, exactly.
Right.
Come on our show, and then I'm helping maybe Mike with found ups, and then doing all this goofy stuff that.
Well, remember Zeke Ziegler, right? Like, yeah. I don't know if everybody remembers him or not. He's passed on now, but he says help enough people get what they need in their life, and you'll have everything you need, or something like that.
Of course,
that's exactly how it works. Because when creating good relationships with people, that's really what brings them back here, because they had fun time, they had a good time, and they got something they needed, or they got some insight. If I was just sitting here and then pitching stuff and like, oh, join my network marketing business, you can make $1 billion, you just got to get 500 people under, and all this goofy stuff, I doubt people would really want to follow me. But if I actually create content of value and keep doing it consistently and getting it out there, that's what makes a big change.
Who else is here? Francis?
Cedric's back.
Yeah. So Cedric, do you have all your goals written down where you can see them every day? Your definite chief aim and your all that kind of stuff?
I do. Yes.
Where
I do.
Where do you put them? On your monitor in your bathroom mirror, or all over the house?
I have a large family, so I kind of keep my stuff kind of private. I try to keep it to the point where when I wake up in the morning, I have I don't know if you can see back in the back there. I don't know, where is it? Let's see. No, I have back there. I have like 100 notebooks where I journal and write, and I keep them in different. I have the ones I have now. I keep it in kind of like a a plastic cover sheet. It changes ever so often, but the basics of my chief definite aim and my goals are basically the same, and that is to add value in the marketplace and to become more or less a go-to person when it comes to marketing and learning, marketing and just getting through some of this confusion out here. There's a lot of talk and confusion out here, especially with social media, where people don't know which way to turn. So I try to be that sound voice, or that calm voice amongst all the rabble rousing and the rhetoric. So so that's basically what I try to do, and help people to understand that we make these processes hard for ourselves, and if we listen to everybody, that's one thing I really like about these older guys when it comes to the law of success, Think and Grow Rich. A lot of this stuff is your basics when it comes to achieving and getting the things that you want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start putting too many new twists on it, it just throws it out of focus.
Of course.
I like the old school view too, where they have like definite principles and a game plan, where a lot of these new marketers are like, man, I got this cool thing. And then everything on social media, everybody's claiming they're going to get you somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you don't know who's really who, and is this the real thing, and are they even the real picture behind it? And they're telling you, oh, do all these stuff, contact 20 people, just go, and send out tons of messages.
Right.
Like, wait, there's no real goal here. There's no, what's your purpose? What are you doing? I'm not saying recruiting in and of itself is bad, but recruiting without a real purpose or a real plan, or just going out and pulling people to something you're not really passionate about, which I've done.
Yeah.
And I've done it multiple times because, oh man, this thing's so cool. My friend showed me. How could anybody not want my energy drink? And then I go do that and it doesn't work. And I'm thinking, why? Why is this not working? Because I don't really have a definite aim. I'm just going out there and trying this and doing that, and basically sticking the fork in the electric socket and
cool.
Metaphorically.
That actually shocks me. Wow.
And out here in the marketplace, there are so many people that if they can't get anything out of you, if you're not a sale or add to their commission bottom line, they really don't have much to do with you.
Well, those types of people can be compared to ships without a rudder. If you put a ship out to sea and it's got no destination and there's no captain, Well, where's that ship going to go? It's going to hit 1,000,000 rock or 1,000 rocky coastlines and probably sink before it reaches any kind of a port.
Right.
You know, and that's how so many people are going through life. They're just drifting aimlessly. They don't really know what they want. They don't know how to, you know, expand their service. And I like what Earl Nightingale talks about in Lead the Field, where he talks about examples of foreign people from different countries coming to America and flourishing because they appreciate the fact that they're on soil in which where they can do whatever they want to do. They can achieve the dreams they want, and they work hard. They don't sit there on protesting, asking for more money. They look for ways to increase their services to match the income that they want. And that's how you do it. You don't march on picket lines demanding more money. That's the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah.
That is the absolute wrong way to go about it. If you want to make more money, increase your service to others. Be of service to others. Help more people.
Yep.
Then your income will increase. It's cause and effect.
Exactly.
So you don't see Koreans or East Indians or Ethiopians or any of those people on picket lines, and unless they're being persecuted in their own country for something, then you do. But not when they come over to like Canada or America. I don't see that.
Yeah, most foreigners I've seen that like come here, they're like, "Oh, I have an opportunity," and then they run with it.
Yep.
The nice thing that helped me is I've seen a lot of them. I've talked to a lot of them, and where somebody won't take a job because, oh well, it only pays $8, $10 an hour. They're like, "Oh man, that's an opportunity. I have to take that." And then you go over to some of their countries, and then they're like, "Oh, Americans, you're rich." And I'm like, "I'm not rich, you know. I have a regular house and everything." But to them, oh wow, having a TV set and food and so they're willing to go for that opportunity. And the whole idea of that is they have a definite chief aim of just having that simple life that maybe a lot of people don't recognize is
Apologies,
something
guys.
we're happy about. It's all good, man. Mike is so excited he's bringing more.
But no, I mean, that's just it right there. People who don't have lots when they first start out are more appreciative of things that normal people like take for granted. You know, so they see an opportunity and they make the most of it.
Like, I didn't get a car till I was 21, 22 because, I thought I needed one in college. And honestly, I wouldn't have really used it. So it didn't really make sense. But when I got it, I was like, wow, this is so awesome. I'm so grateful. You know, it's to me, it was a huge deal.
Yep.
To somebody else, it might have been like, well, you know, what's the big deal? And the honest answer is that if I'm grateful for the little things that I have and the little things I work towards, eventually they become bigger things, and then I get more opportunities to expand my reach. And it's just that simple.
Right. When I was growing up, my grandmother had a candy business that I grew up in East Texas, and the house was here, and she had a little candy shop in the front where she manufactured peanut candy. People came from all over the United States. They would fill their trunks up with the candy and go home, and it was a definite specialty item. A commodity. Well, when I was younger, we went on a vacation one summer, and I wanted to buy a hamburger, and my uncle wouldn't get me the hamburger. So right at that point, I said, I'll never go on another vacation and be broke. So that next year, I went out. You guys are not old enough to remember this, but they had this newspaper called the Grit newspaper. And it was a newspaper that they would send to you weekly in the mail. You take it and you sell it for a quarter. You take your commissions out and you send them the other money. I did that. I cut yards, and my grandmother and I made a deal where I took candy, bought it from her wholesale, and sold it in school. So at 13 years old, I had a bank account. And when I turned 13, instead of getting something for Christmas, looking for them to give me something, that July went out and put a bicycle on layaway. We have some feedback or some kind of, is that some wind blowing or something like that?
I don't.
Yeah.
It might be my fan.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
muted. Sorry.
So
A breeze coming through.
right. So I bought me a bicycle, my very own bicycle, for Christmas, and I was glad that I wasn't in. I was glad that I wasn't entitled.
Well, I mean, the whole idea of being entitled is you get stuff, but you don't know the real value of it. And the
Exactly.
value of it, the work of it's what matters to me. It doesn't matter that someone gave me a sports car. What do they have to do? That's a question they never ask. That's actually one thing maybe we could reverse in society. Instead of asking, oh, how much do you make? How much do you make? How much? Because I hear that all the time. And I don't even like answering that question. But it's not how much I make. It's what did I do? What journey? What experiences? What skills did I learn to make that? Ah, there's a question. Why don't they ask that? I mean, the resume shows that a little bit, but that's really what I'd want to ask successful people. What did you have to go through to get where you're at now? Not, oh, what kind of car do you drive? How big's your house? Because that's what they seem to focus on.
Well, the people that ask that question are the ones that do not have the proper mindset, and they're not even in the same ballpark when it comes to business. People that have and people that are entrepreneurs, they truly don't ask other people that question, because it's all about the process, or how are we going to arrive to where we want to go. And as soon as somebody asks me, well, how much have you made? How long have you been in this business? How much have you made? Right then, I know that they're not business minded people.
Yeah, it's not the idea of that, because that's what I see, unfortunately, a lot of people in my generation. And I'm seeing, like, again, they're focusing on, like, oh, how much you make, how much you making, and they want to know that answer. And for me, it's, what are you doing in here? What's going on in here? And honestly, right now, I'd rather take a passionate guy who's willing to work, who's willing to go through failure, who's willing to try stuff, than someone who's cocky and is a millionaire and thinks they know it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the whole idea behind this. Keeping it real. This is the actual grind. It's not like reality TV, which isn't reality. If any, and I stay away from that too. This isn't like something like, oh man, watch me make $100,000 in 2 seconds. This is actually the real thing of people who have real goals, real aims, real ideas, real dreams, getting together and making it happen on camera. And I think that's exciting. And one day I think the world will see that's exciting.
Yep. Because we're providing service.
I mean, it's the same way with Micah and what he's doing. He has that definite goal, and that's why we're talking like every day, because he has that definite goal of helping people. His is a little bit different through cryptocurrency, but isn't that going to be exciting when how many people are in the world? 4 billion people are using cryptocurrency every day, and then maybe paper money becomes a thing of the past. You're muted. Let me unmute you.
Go. Oh, there we are. I was going for a while too.
But can't you wait for that day? Like me and Rick.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Yeah.
It's been out for 2 years. Bitcoin's been out for a few years.
Oh no, 6.
Or 6 years?
6 years, yeah. 2012 was when I got involved, and 2010 was when Bitcoin was, started to really get some attention. It wasn't worth much at all. I think when the white paper itself was written was in 2009, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but can't you wait for that time when everybody's using, like, hey, hit my blockchain. PayPal's like, come on, man. And it was all because a group of people or one person, I don't know who Satoshi is, I can speculate on that, had a definite aim of, I'm going to create a real virtual currency that nobody can track other people. I'm like, wow, we needed that years ago, because the hard part is when you have central, thing of the money, it's difficult. But having just that one dream and that idea and acting upon it changed the world. And that's what we're endeavoring to do here. And I know that's what you're endeavoring to do.
Yeah. Well, these are the main properties of Bitcoin right there. I just posted them there instead of reading them to you.
Yeah, which
you
is
guys can read those. And the fact is, it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's what Bitcoin is. The blockchain itself is actually a peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that allows online payments to be sent directly from one party to another. That's it, without the burdens of going through a financial institution or, all the other stuff there. So.
Yeah, and I'd say whether, we're not necessarily discussing all the intricacies of Bitcoin, but whatever beliefs you have on it, it was created by one or a group of people named Satoshi, and now it's spawned hundreds of thousands of people to do the same, like Project Augur and Ethereum and all these things. And funny enough, go figure, we had a group of friends that started doing the thing called the Aloha Hour. I'm like, where do they get that? I don't know. I don't know where they got
I don't know
that.
if they're still doing that or not.
I think. And then we had another group of friends who were doing their own little power hour thing as well. I don't know if they're doing that. But what I'm seeing is it's making it, someone's watching, looking at the idea, and it's making an impact. Even if they're not doing it. At one point, there were people who were saying, like, oh, we're doing our own power hour. They called it something different. But if the idea is powerful, it can spawn a lot of little mini ideas. And that's what I think is so cool. You can say, wow, I started the trend for that.
Exactly.
I started the new yo-yo or the new Furby. But we actually add value. It's not going to go away just because it's a fad. It's a real thing that people are going to pick up and run with. Maybe
right,
Micah
exactly.
will have exactly hour. I'm like, where'd you get that, Micah?
Yeah, no. If we have exactly hour, it'll be part of Entrepreneur Power.
Woo! Bring everybody on here. It'll be a party.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That would be awesome.
Carly.
But yeah, no. Carly's here. Hey, Carly, you want to say a couple things?
Carly, put in your input. I need some knowledge from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Carly.
You're unmuted.
You're unmuted. Carly.
She's like, I am not going to say a word.
No. I need to write my definite name.
Oh, wait. She said
where did I find it?
We can hear you.
I didn't hear that, but...
Give it a moment.
Why didn't she do this last time? Because she didn't even give you all this information even last time.
Oh, she's doing something in the background.
No, they all...
Mute her.
You're not allowed. Side conversations is a power hour. Not allowed. It's taking you off your definite chief name.
This is why we have editors, like Kareem, for instance.
Yeah, but I can't edit videos. Well, I can, but it's...
That takes a long time.
It's fun.
Little tidbits they don't, because there's a thing called Screencast-O-Matic you can cut real quick. But yeah, editing does take a while, like especially with like that audio one. I'm sitting there like picking apart. Why am I doing that? Why am I sitting and editing stuff? Because I want good content so I can have people who will come to it, because obviously definite chief aim. Before I wouldn't have spent 3-4 hours editing anything. I'd just be like, oh, here's my message. And I actually had a pre-copy and paste message. Let's go. Now I'm thinking about different strategies. If something's not working, what am I going to do better? Get a new video creator. Change it up in a while. come
Right.
up with different ideas, different topics, do collaborations with people now, have people come on with their businesses like we did with, Mr. Mike there. And definitely in the future, I'd like to do something along the lines of comedy. We just got to plan that out.
Yeah.
We could beat Saturday Night Live.
We could.
It's not that hard to do anymore.
No.
No.
Not with the lack of talent that's on there lately.
Adam
That's
Sandler,
garbage.
I haven't seen on there, and Adam Sandler, and unfortunately, some good actors, have died. So you never know.
Right. Well, Kareem, will you be up late today or
Or 10-ish.
10ish?
Why?
Right?
Why? What's happening?
I was gonna go down for a bit, but I don't think I'll be able to catch it by then. It's 8:30 here right now, so it's the same.
You can call me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like ah. But no, that wasn't the most manly scream. Anyway. But anyway,
No.
I'll be up for a little bit. I definitely want to get some work done, and I have a couple Fiverr gigs I need to finish. So I'll be up for a little bit, and then if there's something you do need, or like urgent though, you need to tell me.
Not really urgent. No, just wanted to move on with the white paper because I'm actually want to get together with you, but we'll talk about that later, brother. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Like I said, it's on the call, so.
Sounds like a plan. Well, it's about 8:40. We're about actually ready to wrap up here.
Okay.
We started at 7:40. Yeah, so we're good. No,
Yep.
Fran just messaged me. She got back from the ER, so that's why.
Oh, man. Not again.
Did she just go to the ER again?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, she's definitely pulling through. She's definitely tough, though.
See, I told her not to stress and not to be upset about anything. Guys, she lost some crypto coins. But, this is another reason why we don't want to give people crypto coins, because they lose them. There's really nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to give her something. I said, don't worry. You still have a piece of Exactly. You still have a part of this, and it doesn't matter if, their numbers on a computer screen. Don't worry about it, right? But, I wanted her to make sure she understood that it most definitely is real. It's costing us money to give her more, if that makes sense, right? 1% is 21 Bitcoins.
It makes sense, but ultimately, here's the interesting thing, because I've been close to broke before, and then I got a little bit better now. I think I'm doing pretty good, but ultimately what I found, whatever currency it is, money is ultimately numbers, and it's ultimately a tool. What are you going to use that tool for? Because that's what I thought. I'm like, well, if I had so much, maybe I'd travel a little bit more. Maybe I'd get a new Honda. But ultimately, it's having that purpose that will bring in the money that matters. And if, you can believe it, Sam Walton, after Walmart was already established, I heard this story, was crawling through the aisles in Mexico. And I'm like, what, or it was some foreign country. I'm like, why would someone do that? I mean, dude, you're a billionaire, go chill on a beach. And it's because he wanted to know every little thing, every intricacy about Walmart, to make every Walmart the same and as good as it can. That's what matters. So,
We're hearing background noise.
we have aliens in the power hour. So anyway.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for being here, and get out there, sit down, write down your chief aim, read The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, study Earl Nightingale, go to nightingaleconant.com, look up there's thousands of personal development programs on there and books that everybody, I believe, should read. And look for ways to increase your service. Look for ways to get better. If you want to become rich, you have to increase your service to others. You have to have a definite chief aim, and you have to have a mastermind. So, guys, thank you very much for being here. I want to thank Kareem Mays, my co-host, as always, Cedric Wilson, Carly, Micah, Bill Maybauer, and Dan Sissick for being here tonight. And we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.